Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with name brand wigs. This is Raquel Welch Go-To Style. It's a brand new style for spring 2022. It's in the color SS Iced Pumpkin. And the color code for that is RL29/33SS. Go-To Style in SS Iced Pumpkin. I have been wanting to see this color for so long. I keep getting asked what my thoughts are on this color, and I'd never seen it before, so I'm so thrilled to now have experience with it. If you want to know more about this super cute, shorter style, stick around for the rest of this video. I can't wait to tell you all about it. You know, there is a special place in my heart for haircuts like this. I don't know what it is. I'm not usually a super big fan of short styles, but this kind of cut is just, oh, I just love it. And, you know, we've been talking a lot lately about cooler wigs for summer, you know, and I usually recommend something a little bit shorter, keep it off your neck, something with maybe low permatease so that you don't have that extra level of insulation, because permatease can act like insulation, almost like a hat on your wig cap, and this kind of checks a lot of those boxes. So let's take a look at her from all around, and then I'll start talking about her and give you the lowdown. You know, something I want you guys to notice about the back of this wig, I'm going to turn around for you again, but it's almost like it's a bit of a natural wave pattern. It's almost like you've got naturally wavy hair, and it's been cut into a short style. Sometimes when you get short layered cuts like this, they can look a little choppy because they're on straight hair fibers. This is really attractive. I just love that how they did this whole back. And then you've got just a little bit of extra length in the front, and I think the reason why I gravitate towards styles like this is because sometimes I want to wear a short wig. It's too warm for something longer, or in the winter I'm wearing a high-necked shirt, I'm wearing a scarf, or something where a longer synthetic wig just isn't really a good choice. But I struggle because I've got such a round face, you know, I'm carrying extra weight, I'm not exactly petite, and so sometimes short wigs can exacerbate all that. But when you get a wig like this, so I get all the shortness that I'm looking for in the back, but I get a little bit of extra length in the front and some extra volume, and that balances out my face just a little bit and makes it very wearable for me versus a style that's sort of short all around. I think that's why I gravitate toward this. And I will tell you guys that I am going to film a separate video, and I'm going to compare this at least to Ignite by John Renault and Heard It All by Raquel Welch, which I just recently reviewed, because they're very similar cuts. And I'm going to look through all of the wigs that I have, see if I have any other styles that are similar, kind of short, a little bit of A-line, a little bit of volume, and I'll do a mega comparison of whatever I can gather, because there's quite a few similar styles out there with subtle differences, and I think that could be really helpful for you guys. Let's talk about this piece. So first, let's talk about name brand wigs. I am partnering with name brand wigs, and I'm so grateful to them. They did send this to me so I could review it for you guys, and I tell you this every time. I'm so grateful to be able to work with name brand wigs, especially because they're so wonderful, but just retailers and manufacturers, that gives me so much more opportunity to share with you guys all of this great content, and I think that's so helpful. I could never ever do that if I had to purchase every single wig that I show you guys. So Name Brand Wigs is wonderful. Their website is namebrandwigs.com. They have a blog, they have education, they work with a few other reviewers as well, so you get an opportunity to see pieces on multiple women. They are here in Minnesota, where I live. And their kind of parent company is Joshua 24. Oh, I'm forgetting the number. I'm so bad about remembering numbers. It's a Bible verse too, because it is a faith-based company that's sort of their parent company. So just a lot to like about name brand wigs. And I will tell you guys, overwhelmingly, you guys tell me that you like name brand wigs. I've had one in all the time I've been working with them, which is about 3 months, but I've done a ton of reviews for them. One person has told me that they didn't have a great experience with their customer service. Other than that, I'm overwhelmed with you guys telling me how much you love them, how their customer service is great, how their prices are great. So really, I feel extra honored to work with a company that is treating my wig sister community so well. So check them out if you haven't already. All right, let's talk about this wig. All right, let's see. Where do I start? I love this wig. It's super cute. It's super comfortable. It is heat friendly, so that's one thing to keep in mind. These are heat friendly fibers. I still owe you guys a video where I sort of summarize my thoughts about heat friendly fibers, as I've gained a ton more experience in the last 6 months intentionally so that I could start bringing you some more education on heat friendly. I am loving shorter heat friendly wigs. You guys, I really think I almost would prefer if the wig is chin length or above, or just below chin length and above, that it be a heat friendly wig if it's straight. And here's why. The fibers feel so realistic. They're so soft. They feel, to me, they feel a lot more like human hair than a lot of regular synthetic wigs. I will also say that I think Raquel Welch may have changed their fibers just a little bit. I don't have any insider knowledge, and I'm not positive, and it may just be my experience that I've gained more experience, but earlier in my wig journey, I didn't like Raquel Welch heat-friendly fibers. They felt dirty to me. They felt waxy and coated and dirty. Those are all adjectives other wig sisters have shared with me. But the last handful that I've gotten, because I've done a few reviews now recently for them, the fibers don't feel like that to me anymore. So either I've gotten used to the way heat-friendly fibers feel differently than regular synthetic, because I didn't have a lot of experience earlier on. Intentionally, I was afraid of the heat-friendly fibers. Or they've done a little bit of changing to them, and they feel a lot nicer. So one way or the other, I'm really loving these heat-friendly pieces, especially if they're straight. I will promise I'll get a video out to you guys about this in the next month. I'll give myself a little cushion, but I need to film something because I have really good thoughts on that. So you've got these realistic feeling fibers. You've got a great length. You've got a lace front. There's that lace front. Raquel Welch is just, I don't know, they're like the gold standard when it comes to realistic lace fronts in the synthetic market. They do such a great job of bringing all of the lighter colors and whatever color they're working with to the front there so that you don't get the dark knotting. That said, one potential drawback of them doing that, and I can see some of you feeling this way, is it makes the front very heavily highlighted sometimes. So if you're the type of person who gets rooted wigs like I am, and you want to pull it up off your face in a style, you're going to get some pretty stark highlights like you can see on this color right here. And sometimes it's even more pronounced than that. So that could be one drawback, but it really makes those lace fronts super realistic. This also has a left side mono part. So it parts back on the kind of left to right. And I think of my dear friend Jill, who really doesn't like that because she doesn't part her hair that way, and I'm sure some of you don't either, and that's really unfortunate that most of those mono parts come that way, but it does have it on sort of the left side, and it's a great part line because it's not super densely knotted, so you can see down to the scalp, and that way it looks more realistic. This lace front goes all the way to the ear tabs, so you get it all the way down to here. So you've got all of this real estate for styling. There's just so much to like about this piece. Let me take off and show you the cap. There is not very much permatease in this one. There's the tiniest bit of crimpy fibers, not much at all. There's no poofy, pillowy permatease. So if you love this style, maybe you have experience with John Renault Ignite, but that one does have a lot of permatease and you didn't really like that, this doesn't. But it does have some volume. I'll talk about that when I put her back on. Now look at all that lace front. So much good lace front up here. There's that mono part. It goes all the way back to the crown. So it's a nice extended mono part, or mono part for realism. Soft, bendable ear tabs. So they put a little metal stay in here. That's how a lot of wigs come. That lets you get a secure fit on the side. You've got an extended nape, Velcro adjusters. This is their Memory 3 cap. So you can see that it's a little shiny here. That's silicone. It helps if you have no hair at all. If you're bald, this will help the cap to grip your skin, your scalp, and you could potentially wear this without a wig grip or anything under it. If you have bio hair, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't pull your hair or anything. It just sort of is a non-issue. But if you don't have bio hair, their Memory 3 cap is really great. And it's got this kind of memory to it, so the more you wear it, it will sort of conform to your head. And that's if you have hair or don't have hair. And it becomes more comfortable over time, which is so awesome. So again, I want to point out this back. I just love what they did here. It's like there's these soft, subtle waves. It's like little tiny, it's not curly, but it's like you had maybe took a little curling iron and just put a few curls in it. So it's not a stark, choppy layer. I love that because sometimes I love the shortness, but if it's too choppy and spiky in the back, which can happen, I'm not a real fan of that. So I really love what they did here. And if you don't watch a lot of my videos, I'm the type of reviewer, I'll give you my opinion on what I like. I'm not trying to convince anybody to sway anybody's opinion, but I'm a wig sister too, and so I like to share sort of my thoughts, and you either will say, oh gosh, I love those spiky short layers, or you'll agree with me. Either way, it's good information because you're either going to know that you're going to like it or you're going to know that it's not for you, one way or the other. Let's talk about volume and then fit, and then I'll tell you all about this color, and I will get outside for you as well. And another thing, if you're new to my channel, I do timestamp what makes sense to timestamp in the description. Always the color sections are timestamped, so you can skip all of the talk about the wig if all you're here for is color, and you can know that that's the case in future videos. All right, let's talk about this. So there's some volume here. What I find really interesting is that they really didn't need to use permatease to give this one some nice volume. They just strategically layered. So you've got a lot of layers, shorter layers up here, and then it slowly gets longer. And the way they sewed or tied or sewed the fibers into the cap gives it some volume. So it's not flat. It's not so voluminous though that it's overwhelming, but it's not flat. I have a Tip Tuesday video out there for those of you who get overwhelmed by wigs and feel that they're sometimes too poofy. I show you how to reduce poof by using bobby pins. So if you want to try a style like this and you're afraid it's going to be too poofy for you, then all you have to do is take like that top layer, take a bobby pin down some of the bottom hair, lay that top layer back down, and it will lay flatter. Watch that video. I'll try to remember to link it in the description for you. If not, just search Denise Sheets Poof. P-O-O-F, I think is how I spelled it. Probably should have been P-O-U-F. And you'll be able to find that video. But great tips out there that in my Tip Tuesday series that you can learn how to work with your wigs. Let's look at how she tucks. She tucks beautifully. You can tuck one side, you can tuck both sides. With a short wig like this, you can really change the look by smoothing it out and tucking. You can get such a different look, and then so sometimes maybe you want it more sleek and a little bit short, even to look shorter. And then let's say you're going out for date night, or you're going to a wedding, or you're going someplace where you want to amp up the style. You can then untuck it. You can spray it with water and do some scrunching. You can put some Peace Out cream and styling cream in it, and you can really make this kind of whatever you want it to be. This is a great one for off the face styling, so you can either use clips, or because of the heat friendly fibers, it doesn't take much to redirect them. They want to sort of be malleable and stay in place. I have a mirror kind of over here, so if you just play with it, you may not even need to use product. And you can get a nice big lift. You can do so much. They're just so fun to style, and that is one of the reasons why I love heat-friendly fibers in these shorter wigs. This wig fits me Actually really kind of true to average to potentially a little small. Sometimes Raquel Welch wigs fit me big. I think there's a little variation in them. Usually it's, I would say she's very true to average. The styles are very true to average. I have an average circumference at 22 inches, but the over the top of my head measurements are very small. I'm very petite from here to here and from here to here. So what will happen is a wig may fit my circumference great, but I'll get either a lot of gapping at the top, or I might get the ear tabs that come down really low. I'm really not getting any gapping or extra cap at all up here. It feels like this was made for my head. And I'm getting decent coverage, but you can see my bio hair a little bit. There's my bio hair. Let's pull this into place. You can see it all right there. And so that tells me it's fitting me just a little bit small, but you can see it blends really well with this rooting. We're going to get to color here in a second. So that doesn't bother me. But what you need to do is go look at my measurements, compare them to yours to determine how this is going to fit you. And if it seems like you might get some coverage issues like I do, make sure you get a color that your bio hair will complement. So if you're a brunette like me, that just means get a rooted color. You can get any color you want as long as it's rooted, because then your bio hair blends with that rooting. If it's a different color, then you'll just want to try to match that, or you just can't do styles like this. If you're not going to be able to blend, you'll just keep the sides down, and then you can't see your bio hair. Does that make sense? All right. Anyway, so I think this is running just a little bit small. I want you guys to be aware of that. Not a ton, but if you are I think if you're an average large, it depends on where your measurements are large. This, I'm looking at if it's cinched in at all. This cap has a lot of stretch, so it's got, I mean, it will stretch for you. But if you are, maybe, let's say you're 22.5 inch around your circumference, I think this will fit you. But if you're large over here, if you're a lot bigger than me, that's where you might run into some trouble, because I think this is running just a little bit small. It's not petite, but I think it's running a little bit small compared to other Raquel Welch wigs. It's so comfortable on me. If your measurements are anywhere near mine, this is super comfortable on me. It fits me like it was made for my head. All right, let's talk about color. This color, you guys, is awesome. Let me get the code again for you. So it's SS ICED Pumpkin, and the code is 29RL29/33SS. The RL in a Raquel Welch wig just means it's their heat friendly. So if you see a Raquel Welch wig and it doesn't have the RL in the front, that means it's one of their regular synthetics. They don't have a ton of regular synthetics. Mainly they do heat friendly synthetics, but they do have some regulars. So keep that in mind. 29/33SS. So we have got this gorgeous kind of coppery, strawberry blonde, red, pumpkin shade. It's such a beautiful color. And then you've got yourself a shadow root. Now, what I love about what Raquel Welch does with their shadow shades, so you've got your SS. That tells you that it's a kind of a shadow shade root. That means it's not a long root. It's more of a shadow or potentially a smudge root. So it just is really like a shadow at the rooting. And depending on the color of the rest of the hair, it's sometimes barely discernible. This you can see, and it looks really dark right now in my monitor. I think it'll look a little lighter once I get this on the computer, but with all the lights around me, this looks really dark. It's not stark in person. It's a fairly dark root though, but it's not stark in person. It doesn't look like bad overgrowth at all. And then these colors, they've done such an excellent job of blending these colors. I actually think I better do a color comparison to Fiery Copper, because I see a lot. I think this is a lighter version of Fiery Copper if you're familiar with that color. But we've got some really light kind of blonde colors in here, strawberry, copper, and red. It's just so pretty. Yeah, it's not heavily highlighted. I think they did a fairly good job of blending the colors. There's not like huge highlights, but it's a lighter color. It's definitely, you know, if you're a dark brunette and you sometimes can do like, you know, darker auburns, this is going to feel really light to you because it's leaning more towards the sort of the strawberry blonde end of the spectrum. It's just gorgeous if you like sort of lighter reds. Let's get outside so that you can see this color outside. This is out of the box. I did nothing to this one but run my fingers through it, fluff it up. I didn't have to do anything with box hair. It didn't have any box hair whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I just about an hour ago put this short out on Instagram of an out of the box. I'll try to tack that onto the end, but if I don't get it on there, sometimes I forget to do those when I've already released them on Instagram. Just note, this is out of the box. She looked fabulous out of the box. You're not going to have a lot of issue with box hair on this one. It just doesn't have the length and the permatease to really make that an issue. So it's really, really cute. Oh, one last thing. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm melting. I suddenly had a hot flash and I'm so hot. I can notice I'm getting shiny even. One thing I did want to mention is bangs. So some people are inevitably going to ask me, can you cut bangs in this one? So this is what happens when I pull the hair down. I think you can cut bangs in it, but it does have lift here. It does have some lift in the front. That's why it doesn't hang in my face heavy. So if you wanted to cut bangs in this one, you might find that they don't lay as flat as you'd like them to lay. You're going to have to take heat to them to get them to lay flatter. Or if you want some bangs, but you just want to like this, just shorter with a little bit of lift, you can get a wispy bang in this really easily. So I would definitely not shy away from this if you have cut bangs into wigs before and are comfortable doing that. All right, let's get outside. I want to show you this color outside. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Name Brand Wigs, for sending me this one. It's super cute and I really like it. Here we go. All right, everyone, we're outside to see this beautiful shaded pumpkin spice. I really love it when we've got a cloudy day because then we don't have the harsh sunlight, yet we still have all the outside light. So let's get up close. Beautiful color. It's just a really light kind of auburnish strawberry blonde. There's your rooting. So it is quite a dark root, which I think if you're a natural brunette, that's going to be really, really good. It'll allow you to try this color without it being such a shock, and like I said in the review, allow you to blend your bio hair if you've got some that shows. And you can see how this just moves in this wind. Oops, just dropped my little phone remote. It's just so beautiful. Stand in that wind a little bit. It's starting to sprinkle. So really I would say light red with some blonde sort of highlights. Just gorgeous. Love it. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you saw what you needed.